The Little Girl, written by Catherine Mansfield. A very good morning to all the students of class 9th A. Children, yesterday in the Google Meet class, we have learned about a girl who was very small, how she's observing her parents, especially her father, how she is happy to see her father to go office in the morning. She feels so relieved. What is the reason behind it? Why she feels very relieved after her father leaves the house? We came across that she made a pin cushion for her father's birthday, to give him as a present, and this suggestion was given by her grandmother. She did as per the suggestion given by her grandmother. She made a beautiful pin cushion, stuffed scraps in it. But the same day, in the evening, she found that there is a hue and cry in the house. Her father is very angry, her mother is really tensed, and they all are searching something in the house. She was called down and asked few questions, and she was interrogated by her mother. She was asked about that, did she see some papers near the bedroom or near the bedroom table? She saw it. She in fact used it as a scrap paper, tore them into pieces and put that inside the pincushion. She told everything to her mother, and mother was really furious. She told everything to her husband, that is Kezia's father, and Kezia's father became really angry. Kezia was called down immediately. Now let's start. Crying too much to explain, she lay in the shadowed room watching the evening light make a sad little pattern on the floor. Then father came into the room with a ruler in his hands. She was inside her room, sitting quietly, looking at the evening light, making a sad little pattern on the floor. She realized that somebody entered in the room, and it was her father. He came with a ruler in his hands and told her that he's going to beat her for this mistake. "Oh, no, no," she screamed, hiding under the bedclothes. He pulled them aside. "Sit up," he ordered, "and hold out your hands. You must be taught once and for all not to touch what does not belong to you." Kezia was really afraid because she knew that now she is going to be beaten up by her father. She hid under the bedclothes, which was pulled away by her father. He told her to sit and hold her hands out, because she needs to be taught a lesson that whatever the things that does not belong to her, she should not touch them. "But it was your birthday." Down came the ruler on her little pink palms. She wanted to explain, she wanted to share that she did it just because it was his birthday, but she was not given a chance to speak up. And father, as he was really furious and angry, he gave one ruler on the pink palms of Kezia. Hours later, when grandmother had wrapped her in a shawl and rocked her in the rocking chair, the child clung to her soft body. There was no one other than her grandmother whom she could share a lovely bond and feel the love. She hugged her grandmother and was being rocked in the rocking chair by her. What did God make fathers for? She sobbed, means slow cries. Here's a clean hanky, darling. Blow your nose. Go to sleep, pet. You'll forget all about it in the morning. I tried to explain to father, but he was too upset to listen tonight. What did God make fathers for? Now Kezia was really sad. She started thinking that why God made fathers. Because her father was very strict and she thought that all fathers are very strict. So therefore, she started thinking why and for what reason God made father for. Grandmother made her understand that it's okay. Her father was really upset tonight. She tried to explain him everything, but he was not ready to listen or he was too upset to listen. So therefore, she will try to explain him tomorrow. But the child never forgot. Next time she saw him, she quickly put both hands behind her back and a red color flew into her cheeks. You know, there are some instances from your childhood that you never forget. Similarly, in Kezia's case, this was the incident that she never forgot. And whenever she saw her father next time, she would quickly put both her hands behind her back and a red color would flew into her cheeks. The McDonalds lived next door. They had 5 children. Looking through a gap in the fence, the little girl saw them playing tag in the evening. What is tag? Tag is a children's game of catching one another. So, there was their neighbors. They were McDonalds who lived next door. Kezia would look at them. There was a gap between the fence and she would look through the gap and saw all of them playing tag in the evening. She saw the father with the baby Mao on his shoulders, 2 little girls hanging onto his coat pockets, ran round and round the flower beds, shaking with laughter. Once she saw the boys turn the hose on him and he tried to catch them laughing all the time. So she observed through the fence that the whole family of the McDonalds with the father and all the children are playing together. They're playing tag. 2 of the girls are hanging onto the pocket of their father. They ran round and round the flower bed, all shaking with laughter. They're trying to catch each other, laughing, giggling, enjoying. She saw them all and felt more bad. She compared her father to that of McDonald's, that their father is playing with all of them, and what about her father? Her father does not have time for Kezia at all. Then it was, she decided there were different sorts of father. So on that day when she observed Mr. McDonald, she realized that all fathers are not same. Everyone are having different kind of fathers. Suddenly one day mother became ill and she and grandmother went to hospital. The little girl was left alone in the house with Alice the cook. One day, her mother became really ill. Both grandmother and Kezia went to the hospital with mother. Mother and grandmother went to the hospital together. And the little girl was left alone in the house with Alice the cook. So they both were alone at the house. It was daytime. And now Alice was putting her to bed. She grew suddenly afraid. Now it was the bedtime for Kezia, and Alice was trying to put her to bed, but she was really afraid. "What will I do if I have a nightmare?" she asked. "I often have nightmares, and then Granny takes me into her bed. I can't stay in the dark. It all gets whispery." As Kezia was a small little girl, and for her to sleep alone in the dark, it was very, very difficult. She could not sleep alone, and she even shared this to Alice that if she ever had nightmare, it was only grandmother who took her into her bed and then she would sleep. But now there was no one at the house. Father had not returned from the office, and it was just Alice. "You just go to sleep, child," said Alice, pulling off her socks, "and don't you scream and wake your poor pa." So the father had arrived and he was sleeping in the next room. They haven't met. Kezia was in her room and father was another. Alice told her to sleep soundly without disturbing, without screaming, so that she should not wake up her poor pa, who was very tired from the office. But the same old nightmare came, the butcher with a knife and a rope, who came nearer and nearer, smiling that dreadful smile, while she could not move, could only stand still, crying out, "Grandma, Grandma!" She woke up shivering to see father beside her bed, a candle in his hand. As she was sleeping, she couldn't help, and then there was a nightmare. She saw that the butcher with a knife and a rope is coming nearer to her, and with a dreadful smile. She cried, "Grandma, Grandma!" and she woke up shivering. She looked here and there, and she found that her father is standing beside her bed with a candle in his hand. "What's the matter?" he said. He asked Kezia that what is the matter, why she's crying. "Oh, a butcher, a knife, I want Granny." He blew out the candle, bent down and caught up the child in his arms, carrying her along the passage to his big bedroom. She was in the nightmare still. She started recalling what did she see. She told her father, butcher, a knife. She wanted Granny. Her father understood. He carried her in his arms to his own bedroom. A newspaper was on the bed. He put away the paper, then carefully tucked up the child. He lay down beside her. A newspaper was present on the bed. He made the child lay down beside her and told her to sleep. Half asleep still with the butcher's smile all about her, it seemed, she crept close to him, snuggled her head under his arm, held tightly to his shirt. When she lay down on his father's bed, she was still half in her nightmare and still scared. She went closer to her father, snuggled her head under his arm, and held tightly to his shirt. Then the dark did not matter. She lay still. The dark did not matter that time and day. She was lying still. She was relaxed. She knew that her father is with her, and now she did not fear from the dark. Here, rub your feet against my legs, get them warm, said father. Her father very politely told Kezia to rub her feet against his legs so that she could get warm and be more relaxed and would be able to sleep soundly. Tired out, he slept before the little girl. A funny feeling came over her. Poor father, not so big after all, and with no one to look after him. It was very funny to look that her father slept before her. He was trying to make Kezia sleep, but before that he slept. She found her father to be very tired. She was feeling very pity for him and understood that her father is having a lot of responsibilities on his shoulder, and therefore he could not manage to take out time for her. He was harder than grandmother, but it was nice hardness. When she crept close to her father, she found that his body is very hard. But hardness was really nice. She could feel the warmth and love that she always wanted from him. And every day he had to work and was too tired to be a Mr. McDonald. She had torn up all his beautiful writing. She stared suddenly and sighed. What's the matter? Asked her father. Another dream? As she was lying next to her father, she started recalling what she had made a big blunder by tearing up the important speech of her father for the Port Authority. She realized that he had to work every day and he's too tired to be a Mr. McDonald. There is a possibility that Mr. McDonald may have more time for the family and children while her father did not have. And she should not feel upset about it because her father has more responsibilities from the professional front as well. Suddenly, her father woke up from his sleep and asked Kezia, "What's the matter? Did you see another dream?" "Oh," said the little girl, "my head's on your heart. I can hear it going. What a big heart you have got, father dear." She was listening to the heartbeat of her father. The beating of the heartbeat was very soothing to her ears. She realized that what a big heart her father has. Despite so many responsibilities from the professional front as well as from the personal life, he is managing everything with so much of ease. He gets tired, he gets frustrated, he too gets irritated, but on top of that, it's always the family should understand about his circumstances and his condition, why he is strict, why he wants everything to be perfect, because he himself is perfect. He wants to do his job with this perfection, and he wants to give justice to all the work that he does. Her mother equally supports her father, and now it was the time for Kezia to understand. It was the time for Kezia to realize that all fathers are not same, and her father, though is very different, but he is her father. She should love him, and as he loves her, no matter what, all fathers, all parents love their children equally. It's just that the children needs to understand certain things from their part also. So this was a beautiful lesson written by Catherine Mansfield. I hope you have understood, and you'll make sure that you will read the lesson and feel the depth of the whole story from the eyes of this beautiful character, Kezia. Thank you so much, everyone.